ask us to engage in meaningful and impactful conversation. Lord, please continue to protect each student, staff, and faculty member of Alvin ISD and those surrounding our areas. Lord, please continue to also bless those that are less fortunate than us this evening. Amen.
Amen. And we have a student that is coming up to help us with the pledge. She's going to introduce herself and where she goes to school and what grade. Go ahead. Yes. Just tell us who you are. Tell us who you are.
Juliana Molina,
And where do you go to school?
Alvin Junior High,
And what grade are you in?
8th grade.
Awesome. Now will you join us for the pledge? Yeah. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the Texas pledge. Honor
Under
the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Great job, thank you. All right, and now we will move into the superintendent's report.
Yes, good evening, board.
Good evening.
If we can get the PowerPoint up for the report. We will start with, is the PowerPoint not working? That's okay, I'll just talk about it then. Oh, it's up there. Okay, not on the sides. Those are not working. Okay, so if we want to look up here. The Winner's Wagon, we were very excited to celebrate with the Alvin ISD Education Foundation and hit the road to surprise educators with innovative teaching grants. Board members, district leaders, community supporters, and volunteers visited classrooms to deliver $139,124.01 and grants for creative projects like classroom libraries, flexible seating, VR tools, and 3D printing, bringing inspiring ideas to life across the district. It's always a great, fun day. And we also did campus grants and scholarships that day as well. We also had Believes Awards. This week, our district administrators and board members set out across the district to present Believes Awards to 36 deserving individuals. The Alvin ISD Believes Awards is presented to employees that exemplify Alvin ISD's core beliefs. And so very exciting again to celebrate. But really, we're very, very excited. Last week, we celebrated students with our top 20 announcements and top 2 announcements at RISE. So last week, Alvin ISD schools announced their top 20 students for the class of 2025. These outstanding students, along with their most influential teacher, will be honored at the Alvin ISD Education Foundation's Academic Excellence Banquet in May. You can see some of their pictures up there. Very exciting time for these students. We also, a couple of weeks ago, unveiled Walt Disney's new staff lounge. These were donated by members of the Rotary Club of Friendswood, the Rotary Club of Alvin, and the Alvin Sunrise Rotary, who joined forces to support Walt Disney Elementary after their tornado by transforming their teacher's lounge at their new campus. On March 24th, a ribbon cutting celebrating the opening of the refreshed space designed for staff to relax and recharge. Thank you to all the Rotary members and volunteers for helping. And really, the Friendswood Rotary Club went above and beyond supporting our district. So we were very excited to have that multi-community support there. And thank you to Ms. Rives for leading that charge. She's currently the president of the Alvin Rotary Club. So thank you, Renee, for making those connections for us. And then great celebration for the READY program graduation. On March 25th, the Alvin ISD READY program held its annual graduation. Congratulations to 95 families who successfully completed the 20-week program. The dedication to early learning has given your children a strong foundation for academic success. And the great thing about this, I know Ms. Passarella has been writing, I think she did a grant, and so we'll have some additional support there for continuing to expand that program, so we're excited about it. And then finally, we'll have our annual job fair this weekend, upcoming weekend, April the 12th at Shadow Creek High School from 9 to 11:30 a.m. Even though we are not opening any new campuses this next year, we still have several people who are retiring, and so we will have some openings across the district. And we hope that Alvin ISD will become your home, so recruit the best and the brightest. So come on out and see us at the job fair. And not only just teachers, but all professional areas like counselors and speech pathologists, as well as auxiliary will be there. So child nutrition, technology services, maintenance and operations. If you know anyone looking for a job, bus drivers, send them our way. We have great benefit packages and just a great work environment. So if you're looking for a job or know someone, send them our way this coming Saturday at Shadow Creek High School.
Very good. Thank you, Superintendent Nelson. And we will now move into commendations.
Okay. Good evening, board. Good
got
evening, guests. We are very glad that you're here with us today. I will be doing the commendations for our students. You please feel free to take photos of them and when they come up, if you would like, if you are their parents. So without further ado, we're going to start with our state, our students that made it to state. So we're going to start with the swim and dive team. So when I call your name, please come up. And we have Adrian Martin with Shadow Creek High School. Anna Tran with Shadow Creek High School. Mason Nevels with Iowa Colony High School. And Galvan with Iowa Colony High School. And Lorelei Marquez with Iowa Colony High School. And their coaches, if you would come up, are Chris Roberts with Shadow Creek High School and Caitlin Cunningham with Iowa Colony High School. And these are your state, the students that went to state for swim and dive. Perfect. We are very proud of these students, so congratulations. Next, we have powerlifting state. So those students are Jayla Solomon from Shadow Creek High School, and they medaled. Who from Shadow Creek High School was a medalist. Oriana Harper from Shadow Creek High School was also a medalist. Madison Williams from Manville High School was also a medalist. Larry Brooks from Manville High School was also a medalist. Madison Miller from Manville High School was also a medalist. Navarrete was also a medalist, and that's Alvin High School. Alejandra Acuna from Alvin High School was also a medalist. Maria Valdez Colvin from Iowa Colony High School. Gisette Molina. Giselle, I'm sorry, Giselle Molina from Alvin High School. Hema from Juarez from Alvin High School. Adamaris Pena from Alvin High School. And if some of y'all could step up and let the next group form in front of you, that would be great,
I'd
because
step
so we
up
can
on
get
his list.
pictures. Some of
Yeah.
you take a step up. There we go. Still have quite a few coming. Valeria Rangel from Alvin High School. Crystal Macias from Alvin High School. Kayla Hill from Alvin High School. Courtney Kimball from Alvin High School. Mitchell Escone from Alvin High School. Jaron Casas from Alvin High School. Caden Hudson from Alvin High School. Jacob Baez from Alvin High School. Ashton Dean from Alvin High School.
Danielle.
Kyle Suggs from Alvin High School. Jacoby Small from Alvin High School. Jason Payne from Shadow Creek High School. Arinj Chukwansmi from Shadow Creek High School. Yves Pham from Shadow Creek High School. Raya Sebastian from Shadow Creek High School. Kelly Hua from Manville High School. Lakshmi Kadamanki, how do you say that name? Who's that? Whose name is that? Where, what is it? Thank you. From Manville High School. And Makaya Tatum from Manville High School. Coaches, if you would join us, are Joe Casas from Alvin High School. Keith Payton from Manville High School. Al James from Shadow Creek High School. And J.C. Ramirez from Iowa Colony High School. Squeeze in as tight as you possibly can. Some of you may need to step up. Well, I don't know if there's room to step up, but just squeeze in as tight as you can.
So these are the heavy lifters, right?
These are the heavy lifters right here. Very true.
There is a lot.
Got the paparazzi, because there's a whole lot of you. So. We're so proud of all of these students. That's a big accomplishment to make it all the way to state. That is very hard to do, and it's amazing that we have this many.
Yep.
We have just a few more photos there. Just a few more. They have to keep stepping back because it's a big, big group. Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. It's amazing. And now we have our National Merit finalists. Alvin ISD is proud to announce that 11 outstanding students have been named National Merit finalists in the prestigious 2025 National Merit Scholarship Program. These scholars have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement, placing them among the top students. So with us tonight, we have Bryant Necestra from Alvin High School. Connor Bellard from Shadow Creek High School. Ananya Chadnick from Shadow Creek High School. Nathan Cruz from Shadow Creek High School. Danny Jacobs from Shadow Creek High School. Rishbot Maka from Shadow Creek High School. Ishan Patel from Shadow Creek High School. Shivi Padada from Shadow Creek High School. Ashman Vijay Kumar, thank you, from Shadow Creek High School. Michael Walla from Shadow Creek High School. And Joshua Vu from Shadow Creek High School. These are your National Merit finalists. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
They all get a scholarship, that's right. And last but not least, we have our Spanish spelling bee. Well, we'll keep doing that, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. There we go. It's a great group. Awesome job, everyone. That's a lot of hard work. Congratulations to the parents of all of these people. If you're a parent of one of these students, will you stand up? Great job. A lot of hard work on the parents' part as well. So congratulations to you
Congratulations,
all.
students.
Thank you. And now for the Spanish spelling bee. So we held our first ever Spanish spelling bee, and we talked about this at the last meeting, but we didn't have the names of the winners yet. So we have them here with us today because that was the day before or day after. So we have Giovanni Reyes from Alvin Elementary. And Marcos Vila and Santarosa from Alvin Elementary. Great job.
Do you remember the winning word or what you spelled? Remember the word? No, that's okay. Congratulations.
That's okay, but that's
That was a lot
awesome.
to remember.
Say winner.
He was the winner out of many, many, many students
That's
across the
awesome.
district. so-
Congratulations.
Yes, great job. Smile real big. This is a big moment. Thank you very much, and congratulations to everyone.
That's all she wrote.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Celebration. A lot of power lifters.
Yes. All right, we'll wait for parents and kiddos to leave. We know it's a school night, so this is a great time to leave if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting.
But you can.
You're absolutely
You're welcome.
to.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Have a good evening.
I know, Mr. Rhodes, we're trying to get the.
It is a little warm.
It is.
It is
It's a little
warm,
warm. Working on
especially
it.
if I'm staying this warm.
Great job.
Yeah. All right. We will now move into open forum. We're now in the open forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to address the board, you should have completed the public participation form and submitted it to the superintendent secretary prior to the meeting according to policy BED local. After I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and the purpose for addressing the board. Please understand you'll have 3 minutes to speak. If 10 or more speakers have signed up to speak, the board president shall have the direction to reduce the time limit to no less than 10 minutes. If a translator is needed, you will be given 6 minutes to speak. I respectfully ask that you make no derogatory statements about any student or staff of Alvin ISD. I ask that you also understand that the board cannot take action on your request or comment at this time. However, the president or designee may refer the request to the superintendent for review. So we have Shirley Brothers.
And I am Shirley Brothers, and my purpose tonight is just to remind everybody about Child Abuse Awareness and Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Month. You know, in the midst of blooming flowers that bring hope and renewal, April also calls on us to recognize child abuse awareness and child sexual abuse awareness. You may have seen the pinwheels at the Chamber of Commerce office here in Alvin and at the City Hall in Manville. The pinwheels represent the 498 reported cases of child abuse in Brazoria County since this time last year. Tragically, 3 of those pinwheels represent the death of a child who died as a result of abuse. Sadly, almost 2/3 of those cases dealt with a child being sexually assaulted. And it's equally sad that almost 80% of child sexual abuse is not reported. That's why it's imperative that we give teachers and school personnel the tools they need to recognize the signs of abuse. Thankfully, a caring counselor, principal, and teachers, as well as law enforcement and the Brazoria County Alliance for Children made all the difference in the case of my family. Not all victims are as fortunate, though. It's important that victims and their families know that they have rights and options. That's why programs such as the ones offered by the Brazoria County Alliance for Children are so vital to the community, and they are free. It is so important for everyone to know that they are not alone, that they don't have to navigate that whole process on their own. When a child experiences a traumatic event like sexual assault, the entire family is affected. We must raise awareness and highlight the importance of supporting children and families who are victims, because victims and their families truly do live with the trauma for their entire lives. We must keep telling their stories, and not only because of the devastation of the abuse, but to show the hope and the strength that sustains a survivor. Victims of sexual abuse don't get over it. They are forced to make space for it, to carry it, and to learn to live with it. And sometimes, miraculously, they thrive in spite of it. I continue to say we need to stop asking what's wrong with that child and ask what's happened to that child. We all know the psychological effects of sexual abuse, but by working together, we can ensure that every child can grow up in a safe, supportive, and nurturing environment, free from the threat of sexual abuse. So let's act now to protect our children and build a better, safer future for all. Thank you, and please accept these lapel pins as a symbol of your support for child abuse awareness.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you for your advocacy around
Yes.
such a critical topic.
All right. We will now move into the presentation section of the agenda.
So, Board, this evening we have Rocky. He's with Zonda Demographics. Gardner, right? Gardner. There you go. He'll give Alvin ISD an enrollment projection forecast. The presentation provides us planning data and awareness of future student enrollment compared to available student capacity at each campus.
Thank you, members of the board. Ms. Nelson, it's a pleasure to be back in Alvin. It's been a couple months, I think. I left in a sweat. I don't want anyone to sit too close to me tonight, 'cause I've been kind of a little warm outside. It's just hot out. You know, I don't have anything, don't worry. Anyway, fourth quarter data, okay? Fourth quarter data, this was all collected through the end of December, so keep that in mind too. The first quarter just ended, but first quarter data doesn't come out until the end of April, so this is data as of the fourth quarter. Unemployment rates in the Houston area remain at that what we would call full employment, below 5%. Pretty strong. This chart has been in here for a long time, and I know I've run out of things to say about it, so I think I say the same thing. We just get ready to pull it when things start happening in the country right now that we could see a little change in this chart by the end of the summer, quite possibly. So we're going to keep this in there and take a look at things. Okay. The Houston market. Speaking of the Houston market and the strong economy, only one other area in the country is building homes faster, and that's Dallas. Houston's adding over 30,000 homes each year right now, so it's strong, up 10% year over year. We're still seeing strong housing demand. We're seeing that not only in Alvin, we're seeing it on the north, on the west. It's just not happening in the urban core right now, but we're continuing to see strong housing. You can see here that we've got 38,000, just under 40,000 starts and closings. The beauty of this chart, believe it or not, is that these last 2 quarters, those have stayed close together. Because what we don't want to see is starts getting too far ahead of closings, because then they quit building homes, they try to work off inventory, so it's been kind of up and down since interest rates got high. So things are kind of coming together. We're hoping, I think some families are maybe beginning to realize that, this is not going to happen. It's not going to drop quick, and they're having to find a way to buy a home at that higher number. But it is certainly fewer homes on the market. So only 2,456 deed transactions. I need to explain this a little bit. So deed transactions are pulled from the appraisal record. So think of when you buy a house, it takes about 6 months. So there's a little bit of a delay there. But we aren't, and that includes existing inventory and new housing. So new housing only represents about 38% of this total that you're seeing there. I think new housing in Alvin's probably over 50% still of the turnover, but it just takes a while for those new homes to get on the records. But still, those are low because people are not leaving their homes. They're kind of hunkering down, hoping for, knowing that if they leave, it's going to cost them more money for less house because of these interest rates. So we need to get the market moving, both in existing inventory and new inventory. Price points continue to sit just over $400,000 with new homes. I think it's a challenge to get a new home for less than $400,000 right now. And you can see that your existing home prices have now accelerated at a similar rate that we've almost doubled since 2014 in your existing home prices, just under $400,000. In Alvin, we closed 1,568 homes in the last year. That's ninth in the area. You can see we started 1,700. We sort that by closings because closings indicate someone's living in the house, that home is occupied. 3,600 VDL, vacant developed lots. Your inventory is sitting at 1,155. I'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. And you've got 16,986 futures. So there's still a lot of futures, a lot of activity in the housing market in Alvin. This year, you started 1,737 homes, closed just under 1,600. So really, your starts and closings have stayed pretty strong. The closings are off just a little bit from last year, but really this trend, 1,600 homes a year is where we're sitting right now. Could begin to slow a little bit, but right now we're seeing the starts at 466. That's higher than where we almost double where we were a year ago. So, and that's what's going to lead us into the summer months. This chart simply shows those changes. Your annual starts, quarterly starts, everything's up. Your quarterly closings are down just slightly year over year, but we don't worry about that as we go into the summer. VDL's up 1,172. Futures are down, but that's what's supposed to happen because those futures become VDL.
Remind me what VDL is again?
Vacant developed lots.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, that means it's ready to be built on right now. It's ready.
And it's only down because we've transitioned it into,
Yeah, so VDL is up, but futures are down because futures are becoming VDL.
Gotcha.
So they're moving. So that's based on lot development. If you look where the housing activity is happening, on this slide, what I like to say is where you see colors, where you have the most activity. If you look at Bennett there, it's interesting. They closed 213 homes in the trailing 12 months, but their quarter starts are 119. If they start, you can see where their closings could almost double next year, if they stay on that pace. So we certainly have a lot of color. I want to mention the inventory number, that 1156. I think I mention this every time, just want to make sure everybody understands. Inventory represents homes that are either under construction or finished but vacant. So you can see there the difference between your under construction column and your inventory column is about 300. That means at the end of the fourth quarter, you had 300 homes that were finished but not sold. Now, likely now that the first quarter's over, they've sold most of those homes, and that's going to be growth that feeds into our next forecast. Development on the west side, this slide's, it's very active over there. We all know that. The red outline represents areas where if we talk about the future becoming VDLs, that's where those red outlines are. The groundwork underway represents the areas that are future for now, but they're delivering those lots. So developers are still delivering lots. Builders are going to take those lots and then build on those lots. We got 722 lots that were just delivered during the fourth quarter. I got a couple screenshots. I'll go through these pretty quick. What I want to mention is we're showing data on these bullets that you see. For instance, like Caldwell Crossing, 63 homes under construction. That was the end of the fourth quarter. The arrow that we've been able to find is from February, so that's a couple months. So you won't, if you tried to count homes, it's going to be a little bit different than that bullet, because we like to update those arrows as best we can. We can see the activity there. Cantera Creek's one that we're following. It's just got 41 occupied homes, so we show that real little yield there just to show you that we are watching the homes. That yield's real small only because most of those students weren't there yet. You know, that yield's going to climb up probably into 0.3 to 0.5 territory. Keeping in mind, when we're talking yield, we're talking about students per home. So if you see a 0.5, that means there's 5 students for every 10 homes, just for a general idea. Foxtail Palms, this is a 298. You can see that they've got those lots all ready to go, so we'll see some home building there this summer. Laurel Landing, again, another one. The roads are cut. They got the first couple homes going in there. It said 0 occupied, 2 under construction. So those 2 that are under construction now are actually getting pretty close to being done. My guess is those are likely models, though, so we might not see any move in until a little later. Valencia, you can see there's a lot of activity in Valencia, 33 occupied homes. Again, it's just getting going. We're going to see some strong growth there with 58 homes under construction. The multifamily market. The multifamily market in Houston's been struggling a little bit the last few years. It's not really because it's more because of the number of homes that have been delivered. Apartment home delivery absorptions are up. Like when they deliver 13,000 apartments, that's spread across the whole area, occupancy rates decline. Most of Alvin's occupancy rates, from what we're seeing, are well above 90. They're doing fine here. It's a lot of that new product that's being built that's kind of a real high-end stuff with lots of one-bedrooms and stuff like that. Their occupancy rates aren't quite as well established. We've got approximately 300 rental units under construction right now in Alvin and more than 1,300 futures. So you're going to see some more apartments and things are going to start happening. This development here, we got a picture from February 2025. You can see it's in the Nichols Mock Zone, 297 apartment units, 13-acre site. They'll be leasing early 2026. We're not going to see students from there probably in 25, 26, but the next year we might begin to see a few. A lot of times those apartments do very well, and they have historically done pretty well over there from a student yield perspective, because they get a lot of parents that kind of, while their home's being built, they might live in those apartments. So we see some strong yields. And let's see here. Oh, so our 10-year forecast. This year I'm forecasting growth of 585 students. Last year we forecasted 342 students. And I don't know if you remember, not from my previous presentation, but the district came in about almost 200 students lower than what I forecasted. It was about a 0.9%. You know, my target's 1%, just so you know, and I kind of keep an eye on that, and I like to be within 1%. The last 3 or 4 years, I have been within 1%, with the exception of the COVID year. That was like a 4%. That was a tough one. So we're forecasting 585 just to keep the district on trend with long-term yields of about 0.5, so 5 students for every 10 homes. And that's a combination of turnover in your existing housing and your new housing. If we look at it by campus, we do have a few campuses there that are over capacity. You know, we know that in the next couple of years we're going to be handling some of that. We're trying to make that color go away as fast as we can. That's the goal there. Where you see the red, where we see some areas that are, you know, over current capacities. And you see here at the junior high level and the high school level, again, 500 homes, 500 students per year. That's actually somewhat lower than what we've seen historically. And we used to see, a lot of the new housing is not yielding as high as what it used to yield. So we're getting the homes, but since COVID, there's been some changes in some of the makeup of the house or where the students are coming from, whether it be homeschooling or just less students. There's just, you know, the birth rates declined a little bit. They've now begun to come back, but you've got to wait for those little kids to kind of make their way in. High interest rates and inflation, you know, with the election uncertainty, it didn't really adversely affect Alvin. We just continue to see strong growth. Quarterly closings rose 15% year over year. That's important. Again, the closings are occupied students. You know, we think it'll be just over 33,000 students in 5 years, 36,000 students in 10 years. Now, that's my forecast, and I'm kind of doubling down on that a little bit because last year you did come in under. But I want to show you what things could look like based on some cohort changes that we're seeing. So this slide here represents what I would call a slow roll. So if you look on that far right where it says cohort yield and cohort total, a cohort is how many first graders become second graders, or second graders become third graders. So you look at the cohort total, like last year, your cohort growth was 505 students. Even though you only saw a realized growth of 342, that happens because the size of your exiting class sizes are bigger than your entering class sizes. But what I really have noticed that in the cohort change, you're only yielding about 0.31 now, where if you look back 2 years ago, we were well over 0.5 at 0.53. So I wanted to run a scenario for a couple of years that said, okay, what if we stayed at that 0.3? So that would be next year's growth of 358 students. It's about 150 students lower than what my original forecast says, but I wanted you to be aware of that, what we're looking at and understanding some of the trends that we're just letting happen. It's still 3 to 4% growth at elementary. I think that you're looking at 3% growth at middle school, but it's just a little bit lower yield coming from the new houses. I talk fast, I'm sorry. I'm happy to take questions or back up. I think this will back up, right? Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Can we go back to the slide with the vacant developed lots, please? And thank you, Rocky. This is great information. I appreciate it. Just want to see something real quick. I think Lamar Consolidated was at the top and Conroe maybe was.
All the way, which one?
Yeah, it was early where.
The ranking report?
Yes.
There we go, right there. All right. And I guess this is not a Rocky question. Student-wise, do we know like where Lamar Consolidated, Conroe versus us, like their projected enrollment?
Conroe's not a client of ours.
No problem.
Yeah. Lamar might be, I just don't know the numbers though. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, Lamar reaches out into Richmond, Rosenberg,
Yeah.
even to Fulshire
Big.
in some areas. So
Yeah, I know.
that's
I believe we did a
really
study. I just don't recall the
booming
numbers.
I was
Right
just,
now.
that's my own brain. Don't worry. I got it.
Okay.
I was gonna ask where we compare with our capacity of our schools versus what they're building and
Oh, I see.
projected.
Capacity of their schools.
Yeah, but another meeting. Thank you.
Sorry. Stunned silence.
Any other questions? All right, thank
Thanks,
you,
y'all. It's a
Rocky.
pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, we will now move into consent agenda items. Do we have a motion that the board approve consent agenda items A through G as presented? So moved by trustee Humbard, second by trustee Selsky. Does anyone have comments or questions on agenda items A through G? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Right, we'll now move into request to consider approval of TASB Policy Update 124.
So board, the update 124 has been reviewed by cabinet and was sent to the board. Administration's asking for approval of the following for TASB Policy Update 124, the legal policies and then the update to the local policy revisions.
All right, do we have a motion for the board to approve TASB Policy Update 124 as noted? Okay, first by trustee Swinney, second by trustee Garza. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll now move into request to consider approval of dental insurance.
So board, the Risk Management Office has received and completed their review of the proposals for our dental insurance, and we've recommended moving to MetLife. MetLife submitted the most cost-effective bid for our employees and came in with a competitive 1% rate increase over the current cost, a very large network, and a 3-year agreement with the max renewal caps for year 2 and 3. MetLife also offers admin and implementation credits.
All right, do we have a motion that the board approve the dental insurance as presented? First by trustee Scott, second by trustee Johnson. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Up next is request to consider approval of award of contract for Walt Disney Elementary abatement and demolition.
So Board, in preparation for the construction of a new Walt Disney Elementary School, the existing building must be demolished, with all encapsulated asbestos-containing building materials being removed and disposed of by a state licensed contractor. Legal advertisements were placed in accordance with the state law, and on March 13th, representatives from Alvin ISD Construction Services Department received competitive sealed proposals from 6 abatement and demolition contractors for this project. Of the contractors who met the evaluation criteria, AAR Incorporated's proposed fee offers the best value to the district for this project.
All right. Do we have a motion that the board consider and approve a contract award to AAR Incorporated for the not-to-exceed sum of $199,000, $199,700, and authorize the superintendent or her designee to execute the final contract?
So moved.
All right, by trustee Selsky.
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Garza. Comments or questions?
I did have a couple, and I know we didn't get to discuss this earlier, so, sorry.
Go ahead.
Couple of questions. I know their bid came in, 17,000 lower. Have we done work with this group before?
Yes, so we have had done work with them before with the asbestos abatement and all. It did come in considerably less than the other 5.
Correct. And then us absorbing this cost, I know there's potential insurance claim with that. Is this going to be a reimbursement from the damages to the building? I know we have to demolish it.
So we have received some of those insurance proceeds. We still
Right.
have another check coming. I've included that in the weekly.
Yes, I
like
saw that.
A worksheet.
I guess a better
Um,
question was, sorry,
right.
a better question was, it was up to us to submit this and not the insurance company manage this demolition.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And had we, there was a replacement campus for Stevenson Walt Disney in the last bond last November. And so that was already part of it, is that we would have either chosen Stevenson or Disney but kind of Mother Nature took its course. And so,
Right.
yes, so even though Walt Disney, we don't get full replacement costs, reimbursement from the insurance company, we also have bond funds. But in combination with both of those, we'll have dollars there for demolition,
So when we did the bond, we knew we had,
to demolish one or the other.
and we knew we had
Correct.
asbestos in that school.
Correct.
So,
Any other questions, comments? All right. Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll now move into request to consider employment of personnel.
So board attached are 4, actually, recommendations for contract for hire.
All right. Do we have a motion that the board approval be granted for requested personnel items as presented?
So moved.
By trustee Selsky, second by trustee Johnson. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, we'll now move into request to consider extension of professional contracts.
So board, each year, to comply with the Texas Education Code, the board considers our professional contracts at its April board meeting. So attached, you will see those employees who are recommended for contract, professional contract.
All right, do we have a motion that board approve the professional contract recommendations for extension as listed? First by trustee Scott, second by trustee Garza. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
I will abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry, we had 1 abstention? Okay, motion carries 6, 4, and 1 abstention. All right. We'll now move into request to consider approval of administrative appointment, principal at Alvin High School.
Yes, so board, Ms. Karen Taylor has announced her retirement, and so HR has a posting out there for high school principals, and the committee did interview recently, and then we did final interviews this morning. And the board, up for consideration, my recommendation is Mr. Robert Ford. He's currently serving his 4th year as principal of Alvin Junior High. Previously, Mr. Ford served as principal at Manville Junior High for 2 years, assistant principal at Alvin High School for 4 years, assistant principal at McAdams Junior High and Dickinson ISD for 4 years. He began his educational career as a social studies teacher and an athletic coordinator at Manville Junior High, serving for 6 years. Robert was honored as Principal of the Year in 2023 and Ames Principal of the Year in 2024. He brings over 19 years of educational experience, 15 which have been with Alvin ISD. Robert received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Sam Houston State University and his master's degree in education administration from Lamar University. So it's my recommendation and the committee's recommendation that the board consider Mr. Ford to lead the staff and students as the principal of Alvin High School.
Do we have a motion that board approval be granted for principal at Alvin High School as presented?
So moved.
All right, by trustee Humbird, second by trustee Swinney. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations.
Well, he's very fortunate that Alvin Junior High uses the same colors as Alvin High School, because hence his tie. Okay. Mr. Ford, will you introduce your guest with you this evening? And did you want to say anything? We'll give you the floor.
Well, I wanted to also, I gotta give, so the reporter over here, thanks for all the time, that's my mother.
So you should get great coverage in this.
Front page.
How long before the boys are in high school? How long before the boys are in high school?
I just wanna say that I'm honored and privileged, especially to go back into the jacket culture. I mean, graduating from there, this is just like, I'm just so excited to be a part of it. And I'm very thankful for everybody that has the trust and the faith in me. I want to thank the board and the cabinet. I want to thank my family that came and supported me here. My family that's here tonight. I'm just really looking forward to it. And I'm glad to be back at Alvin High School. You know, break it down.
I was on campus this afternoon to celebrate Brian Nesestra, who's merit finalist for Alvin High School, and Miss Taylor was there, and she's excited for whoever it was to follow her, and she said she has lots of files to leave behind. And I said, well, whoever that may be, because she was trying to get it out of me, I said, we'll be very pleased to have your files. Anyway, so we're very excited for you, and thank you to Miss Taylor for all she's done for Alvin High School as well.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. Well, what a way to end a meeting on a high note. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Hubbard and second by trustee Garza. All in favor? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.